Hello everybody, this is the Gruesome Fox coming at you with two, potentially three matches here in the Psycho Bawoo. These are all going to be 650 cost rated matches here. These first two are going to be on a military base, and if I do decide to keep the third one, it is going to be on impact sites. So yeah, plenty of matches here using the suit that I was able to get here because, well, I've been playing the Psycho Bawoo a whole lot. If you've seen my recent Saturday stream, I did talk about this suit a little bit and some of the things that I did like about it. But I did want to make a dedicated video really going into detail why I think the suit is really good. And also is one that I just really personally like. And yeah, we'll start off with the basics here. The Psycho Bawoo is a 650 cost general. As you can see here, and as the name suggests, it is a Bawoo variation that uses the Psycho Plates, similar to that of the Moon Gundam. And if you know me and the Moon Gundam, that's another suit that I really like. So that's going to play a lot into my feelings for this suit here. And yeah, we really have a lot of good things going on for this suit here. First off, you do have some very balanced resistances when it comes to this suit. You have like 24 ballistic, 26 beam, and 22 melee, so all your stats there are pretty balanced, and you do have the part slots to kind of build this suit however you want. Aside from that, you do have 39 range strength and 26 melee strength as this suit's stock modifiers for its weapons. And then you also have pretty decent movement speed at 130 and then 210 top speed while boosting. So yeah, for the stats, you just have a lot of really good basic stats here. And with the part slots, those being 14 close, 20 mid, and 14 long range slots. As I mentioned, you do have a few options when it comes to how you want to build this suit. I think I gave this suit a pretty standard build. I think I kind of tried to go a bit more for range. With mine mainly to go with the weapons that this suit has. I think I probably also maybe did a bit for melee. Again, really just kind of kept to a general balanced build for this suit here. As I really think this suit is overall fairly balanced, especially for a 650 as well. 650 just gets a lot of generals that all tend to be really good. I think the only one that I really ever heard was, I don't even want to say overpowered, because personally I didn't think this suit was overpowered. That was the Bawoo. I know that suit was really good on release, and I think still is pretty decent of a pick from what I've seen. But aside from that, you know, suits like the Gustav Call, that suit is still a popular pick to this day, especially since it's been buffed. I've been seeing it a lot more often. So 650 is just one of those costs where you do have a bit of competition. Oh, you have the Mezzer as well. That's another newer 650 general that is also really good. So yeah, lots of competition when it comes to 650. And I think the Psycho Bawoo here just holds up really well alongside a bunch of those other suits. A lot of that has to go with the kit that this suit has, which I'll talk about a bit here. And we're going to start off with the Psycho Bawoo beam rifle. This is your main primary weapon, and it's actually the only weapon that this suit can equip. And it does have its own version of the Bawoo beam rifle, which I do really appreciate for this suit here. Even after they buffed the original Bawoo rifle, I still have never been the biggest fan of it, and I really like how this beam rifle operates compared to that one. So the gimmick with the Psycho Bawoo beam rifle here is that you have 6 rounds, and you can charge this, but if you do an uncharged shot, you will actually get an instant stun. It just counts as a regular instant stun beam rifle, which is already very nice. But then you have the charge fire as well, and what this does is that this fires a 3-round burst, where each burst takes 2 rounds of your magazine, so of your E-Pack. So if you have like 4 rounds left in your E-Pack, you'll only fire 2 of those charge shots. But if you have 5 rounds, you'll still do the 3 burst, because it does again take 2 rounds per a burst. And the burst fire, if you can hit the shots, I think it does like a little over 2,000 I've seen for most suits. So you can really stack on some damage if you can land that. So I do really like the beam rifle that they gave for this suit here. The beam saber in itself is nothing really too special to talk about. This is actually the same beam saber that the regular Bawoo uses, which I believe means if you use this in unrestricted mode, you could probably equip the level 4 Bawoo beam rifle if you have it. But for the case of 650 rated here, I really don't play mix-up like regularly anymore because really just mix-up is one of those modes that's just, you know, if you have a whole team of 700 suits, it's really easy to just get wiped out like that. Which is why that mode's been kind of relegated to AB rooms. But moving back to the beam saber here, this is pretty much the same exact beam saber that the regular Bawoo uses, but you do have a fairly new melee pattern. I do believe the neutral and the side swings are probably the same as the regular Bawoo. I don't think they really changed anything with those ones, but for your downswing, you do have, and I think I'm about to use it right here. Yep, you do have a lunging poke downswing, which I believe I mentioned this in the testing video, and also in just other videos as well I've mentioned with suits that have this style of downswing. I am just a big sucker for these types of downswings on suits like this. I really just think these are some of the best downswings that are in the game, mainly because there's just so much you can do in terms of utility with them. And it's also one of those, you know, downswings as well, the lunging downswings, where you're really at a cost where suits are big enough where you are going to be able to hit them when they are knocked over. So it's not really going to be an issue to worry about when using this suit. You will be able to follow up with another downswing effectively. So that is something I really like about this suit. And going back to the beam rifle, something I forgot to mention is that when you do use the charge shots, each charge does also count as an instant stun. I just saw it there on screen, and it's something I did want to go back there and mention for the Psycho Bawoo beam rifle. But yeah, so far for the two primaries, again, I do think these are both really, really good, strong primaries for this suit. I mean, even again, this beam saber is the same beam saber that the regular Bawoo uses. But I just think having that poking downswing that just gives you so much more range is really good for this suit here. Another tactic I typically like to use with that type of downswing as well is to wait around corners and try to maybe, you know, knock someone over if they really aren't paying attention and I am able to get the downswing off. Obviously that can be risky sometimes because if your enemy is predicting that, they can get you with a tackle. But most times it does tend to work. Especially with the White Rider, that's really the suit I kind of use that tactic the most if a raid is chasing after me. This suit, I don't believe I really used it too much yet, but I do have a combo with this suit that I am going to get into when I go to one of your other sub-weapons that you get with this suit. And real quick, timeout mission over before I move to the sub-weapons. Let's see how I did with this first match here with the Psycho Bawoo. And it looks like top and assist here, Vogul did really good getting the other board stats. And second place with 4 kills and 2 loss, and second place in damage. Not bad for the first match there. And this is going to segue into the second match I had in military base here. And that's also going to allow me to segue into the sub-weapons. So the first sub-weapon you have here is going to be the arm grenade launcher. This is a pretty standard weapon. It is just like an arm grenade launcher. Kind of operates like the Zetas, but not at the same time. The way this one I think tends to work is that it fires more like in a 2-round burst, but it's still quick enough to where it's like one consistent like fire. But this is a really nice weapon because it is good for getting quick accumulation stuns. Most of the times I've seen it, it's like 2 to 3 grenades to get a stun. Or it might take all 4 sometimes. It just really depends on the suit, because some suits do have skills that really make them a bit more resistant to accumulation fire, which is something I realized in the testing video for the suit when I made that. A suit like the Kublai was able to tank those stuns a bit more than the Humbrabi was able to. So really it is varying on the suit that you're facing off against. But for the most part, when I have been able to use these grenades, if I am able to land at least 3 of them, it always looks like I'm able to get a stun off. So that is a really good sub-weapon that you can use for this suit here. Also just good for getting a little bit of damage if it's something you need. Or maybe if there's a pilot as well, because this is a rocket-based weapon, kind of like a, it's a grenade launcher. So you do have a little bit of an explosive edge to it. So it is something you could probably use for trying to get pilots as well. And yeah, really good sub-weapon there. The next one we have here is going to be the Mega Particle Cannon. That is on the shield, which is something else I'm going to talk about when I get to the end of the sub-weapons here. Alright, so I'll just talk about it now since we are on this weapon. One of the main differences with this suit and the regular Bawoo is that the regular Bawoo, its Mega Particle Cannon shield actually counts as a shield. This one, it doesn't get that, instead gets a buffer, the left arm equipment buffer skill. So that is something to consider when using the suit. You do not have a regular shield, but you do have an alternative to it that is, again, something I'll get into later with the sub-weapons. But the Mega Particle Cannon here for the shield is a really decent weapon. If you do it uncharged, it will fire 3 bursts. And then if you do a charge shot, it will just be kind of like a standard instant stun. Nothing too really special there, and as you can see there, just used it on what looks like a Zeta plus A1 there. So yeah, really good there. Actually, that may have been a Delta plus. I don't believe I saw a Zeta plus A1 in any of these matches here. But yeah, the Mega Particle Cannon, I do think it's a good weapon. It's probably the one that I think has been the most inconsistent when it comes to accumulation when using the uncharged fire. But other than that, I still think, again, it's a pretty good, extra damage dealer, like I'm using here to shoot at a target that is knocked over. I can use it just to get a little bit of extra damage, depending on, if I'm able to ready up my melee or another weapon in time. I can always just go to that and use the uncharged fire and, again, just get a little bit of damage. Okay, so yeah, that is a Delta Plus that I saw earlier. So, yep, clarification there for that suit. But, yep, that's the Mega Particle Cannon. And now we really get to the parts of this suit that I like the most when it comes to these sub-weapons. And that is going to be your 2 versions of the Psycho Plates that you have. So the first one is going to be the Psycho Plate Launch. This is your attack plates. And when I first did the testing video for this, I thought they were going to be like the Moon Gundam's plates. Like, when I first got this suit, I thought it was really just going to be like a 650 cost Moon Gundam. That's kind of the idea I was getting out of it, because in the Moon Gundam, its attack plates are also called Launch, so I thought they would be the same thing, but nope, as you can see here, they actually launch out, and they attack the enemy multiple times. They don't just attack in the row that the Moon Gundam does. The best way to really describe these is that they operate a lot like the Phoenix's shield plates that it has on its back, where they will attack a target multiple times trying to hit them. So that is a really cool feature that I find with this suit here. But it does come with its own flaws, which this is something that the Phoenix has as well. It's another kind of gripe that I have with this suit, but with that suit. But for this suit, I do not think it's as bad. And the main reason for that is because this suit just has more plates to work with. So the issue with the Phoenix is that if you are using the plates, depending on the environment and what you're aiming at, there is a chance that your the shield, I think it's like the Armed Armor DEs, I'm just going to call them the Armed Armors for the Phoenix, just so we know the difference between both of those. But for the Armed Armors, if they do hit something in the environment, like say they hit like a building or maybe a bit of a mountain or something, the plate will automatically just return to you. It really just depends, because sometimes one plate will be able to go through, and then like the other one will just return to you, so only one plate will attack instead. Well, the Psycho Bawoo does have a similar issue to this, where if the plates do hit something in the environment, as you can see here, I think actually no, did some of them return? I think no, all those ones were able to hit, but there's a few times in some of these matches I believe it shows up. The next match at Impact Site will probably have a bit more of that because of the terrain there. But for this suit here, if a couple of the plates do return to you, I do not think it's as bad as when it comes to the Phoenix, because again, this suit has way more plates to work with. So if, like I said, if you only lose some of those plates, you still have a good number of them that are going to be able to go out and pressure an enemy. So I think that is a really big strength for this suit when it comes to the way it's designed with those plates. So, yeah, really good cycle plates for this suit here. Also, really good damage as well. And this is one of what I was getting to when I said there's a combo I like to do with this suit. Mainly I like to do this when I'm paired with somebody else. But if somebody is able to stun lock an enemy for me, I will try to use the plates that way to see if I can use it that way. But the other combo that I like to do as well is to lock on with the plates, go with my beam rifle and get an instant stun with the uncharged shot, and then go in for a downswing, and if I am able to knock over that enemy, the plates will be able to do their full damage, and I'll also be able to follow up with another downswing, which can do some pretty nasty damage with the way that this suit is structured. So that is something that I have been really experimenting with this suit. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Really it just kind of depends on a few factors, probably things like latency and stuff like that. Because sometimes, and also if the enemy is able to get the dodge roll in time, that could kind of mess it up. But even then, if you don't get the downswing off, the plates should have still been able to do enough of their damage where I don't think it would be too detrimental. But, yep, and real quick, mission completed for the second match here. And then I'm going to wrap up my thoughts here on the last sub-weapon, kind of go over the rest of the skills, and yeah, wrap up the video here. Yeah, it looks like I did need all 3 matches here, which is really understandable. Second place with 6 kills and 2 loss. But yeah, this is a suit that I really wanted to talk about, and yeah, I had a lot to say about it. I still have a bit more to say about it, so won the last match here, and this is going to be the Impact Site one, so I'm going to try to wrap up everything here. The last sub-weapon we're going to talk about here is going to be the Psycho Plates Defend. Now, I believe this operates exactly like the Moon Gundam's defense plates, where they will go around your suit, and they'll pretty much protect you from everything. Ranged weapons, melee weapons, they'll be able to protect you from that for as long as they are active, which is a really neat thing to have, as this does make up for the missing shield that this suit does not have. This is really, I feel like, this might be on purpose. I think this is why this suit does not actually have the shield. I think they did want to have it for the defense plates instead, and, really encourage people to use this instead of, again, just trying to use the shield as your only defense. This entices you to actually use the defense plates when you need them. Also, the defense plates do just protect you from a lot more. Again, they protect you from everything for as long as they are active. So, really good sub-weapon there. And that is actually everything I have to say about the sub-weapons at the moment. And just some of the skills that I want to talk about here. You do have a double dodge roll with the suit. You may have seen that a couple times, which is, again, really nice for this cost. You also have maneuver armor, which I think is also really good, because those cycle plates do add some size to the mobile suit compared to the regular Bawoo. I feel like regular Bawoo it's really more tall than I'd say bulky, but I still think the regular Bawoo is one of those suits that does have a bit of a bigger hitbox. So I think, again, just adding with the cycle plates there, you do have maneuver armor for when you're boosting to kind of compensate for some of that so you don't get stunned as easily. You do have the full attack skill. This is the main skill I wanted to talk about. And some suits, mainly 4 stars, I believe, have gone this. I don't know if this skill has been on anything that isn't a 4-star. I know it is on the FF Sazabi, and I have heard it is also on the Hainu Gundam and the Narrative Gundam B-Packs. Those are the suits I have heard and are familiar with them being on. Again, I don't believe this has ever been transferred to a 3-star mobile suit before, so I think that is a really interesting thing here. And what this does, I'm going to read the exact description here, is that when a Saikuma weapon is in use, both your mobility and the damage you deal to enemy mobile suits with non-Saikuma weapons will increase. When engaging units with offensive or defensive Saikuma weapons, these effects will not be applied. So basically, if you are attacking something that does not have Saikuma weapons, you'll gain an increase to your mobility and the damage, which is why that combo I mentioned earlier tends to be kind of devastating as it is, because as your Psycho Plates are attacking somebody, you are going to get that increase to your damage and your mobility. So it does make initiating that combo a lot easier, and a lot more deadly as well. So I think full attack here is just a really strong thing for this suit. I don't even want to say strong either, I just think it's really good. Like, I don't think it really makes the suit busted or anything, and I think that's really just my whole thoughts on this suit. It does not feel busted by any means of the words, it just feels like a really balanced 650 Generals, which, as I mentioned, there's a bunch of 650 Generals that are in this game that are really good. I think when it comes to 650 costs, I do think there is a lot of just Generals that typically tend to be really balanced. There seems to be a strength with BB when it comes to developing these suits at this cost. They just feel really balanced all the time and just really viable when it comes to their use. So that's something I really like here. I guess if I really had to mention anything for potential flaws, it would probably again be that, the Psycho Plates do make you a larger target. But again, you do have the skills and the sub-weapons to kind of make up for that. You also have the buffer skill for the Psycho Plates when they are not active as well. So that is also going to alleviate some of those damages you would usually take if you are not currently using those weapons. So that is a pretty good thing there. Other than that, yeah, just everything about this suit, I just really enjoyed about it. Like, I still enjoy playing it. It's one of those things, it kind of took me a couple matches at first to get used to it. Again, because I think I was in that mindset, kind of like, oh, this feels very similar to the Moon Gundam. But it is and isn't. It's a very kind of weird blend of you got some Moon Gundam, but then you also got some Phoenix, and you have aspects from the Bawoo as well. So very mixed suit there in terms of its design. Another thing with this suit as well is that I think it does really well when it is paired with another suit. One of the things I briefly mentioned was how I feel like this suit, when I'm paired with somebody else who can help me get stuns and allow me to make full use of the Psycho Plates so they get the full damage. I think that is another strength with this suit, again, being paired with somebody else. Especially if you're paired with another Psycho Bawoo as well. I have been in plenty of matches where if there was another Psycho Bawoo on my team and we kind of stuck together and used our stuns and our plates, we would be able to do some pretty good damage against just, targeting a single enemy, because that enemy would be getting hit by two sets of plates, and they would just be stunned by us with our beam rifles and the shields, the grenades. If we could even get a melee in as well, that would just be extra damage for us to use. So really, there's just a lot, I feel like, that this suit can do if you are paired up and really working with your teammates. Not to say that I don't think this suit can't operate well on its own. I've had moments like that too, where I've been able to take on an enemy by myself, which again kind of goes more again into the balanced idea of it. The suit is not completely worthless by itself. If you know how to make use of your skills and your weapons, especially the defense shields, because those defense shields are going to give you a pretty good advantage when it comes to what fights you want to take, because, again, they block nearly everything, so you'll be able to tank some of that extra damage that you would probably take if you were in any other suit that didn't really have one of those skills. Kind of like how the Gustav Call has its active guard, and that helps you tank a lot of damage and can set you up for some combos depending on how you go about it. I think that kind of goes the same way for this suit here. Using the defense plates really does allow you to move in on an enemy and just, get a bit closer so you can use your weapons and skills to their full advantage. But since we're nearing the end of this match here, I'll wrap up my thoughts here. As you probably could tell already, I do think this is just a really fantastic suit. Really like playing it, really like using it. I do think it is a suit that is worth spinning for. I know by the time that this video comes out, it is going to be pretty much the end of the banner. And at this point, everyone is probably going to be saving for whatever the next suit is going to be. But I do think this suit is really worth it for 650. If you are looking for a fun 650 general like to play, I do think this is a really good option. Or even like you want a good 650 general, you just want like a fun 650 general that like has a different play style. I think this is just a really good suit. I think this suit here is really worth owning if you are able to get it, or if you're able to get it in the future as well. I would say that's another great chance to use it. I really want a level 2 of this now. I'd be really interested to use this at 700, which I think that's probably going to be a likely thing. Like, they tend to be really good about releasing the level 2 suits, especially recently. We just got a bunch of the Engage units at level 2. From like when the Engage collab happened. So I have no doubt that this suit here will eventually get a level 2 at some point. And hey, first place with 4 kills and 2 loss. Unfortunately a loss for that match there, but still managed to do really well. But yeah, that's going to be the end of those 3 matches there. And yeah, I think I pretty much said everything I have to say about this suit. I know this is a much longer video than I am used to making. It's just that this is a suit, again, that I really had a lot that I wanted to go into, and really just dive into this suit and go over everything in detail. So, if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like. I would really appreciate it. If you aren't subscribed already, please subscribe. I do post videos Wednesday, Sunday, and I also host Saturday streams on, well, Saturday for most times, unless something happens, but I usually keep you all up to date on that in my community posts if something is to come up, but that's typically my schedule there. So also please share this video as well. This is, again, a really long one, so really would appreciate it if this can get out to as many people as possible. This is a really just a video I really wanted to make. So yeah, overall, really good suit. Gonna keep playing Psycho Bawoo unless something really good manages to come out at 650 in terms of a general. I do think this is going to be the suit I'm going to be sticking with from now on. Aside from that, yeah, that's going to be the end of this video here. Comment down below what you think about the Psycho Bawoo. And again, remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Later.